So by this moment, y'all should know that whenever something happens, I'm not the biggest fan of saying something immediately. Although speed is what people prioritize nowadays when they're reporting on something, I try to go for accuracy and if it's even worth it to talk about. A lot of this stuff is just noise, trying to keep us distracted. And when I saw this, I thought that's what it was. I brushed it off. I'm like, it's just what typical politicians do, right? It's 2024. The election is coming up. At this point, it's obvious it's going to be Biden and Trump as the nominees. We already know what we're getting ourselves into, which is round 2. So brace yourselves. But I saw this video, and long story short, is Joe Biden sitting down with this black family. God. Eating fried chicken and talking about basketball.
Well, I mean, you got chicken fingers, you got the whole deal. I went the route of making sure I had a hamburger. So tell me about you guys. What you doing these days?
Why don't you share about your passion of sports?
I'm playing AAU basketball right now.
Are you really? Are you guard?
Yes, sir.
Now, what grade are you in?
7th grade.
7th grade.
Right now, I'm just doing basketball, playing guard on the JV team for my school.
Now, he said he opted for the burger. They all got chicken on the table, though, and they're talking about basketball. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can see the direction that this is going. Now, when I saw it, I just chalked it up to, typical politician doing what a typical politician does, trying to get some publicity and then trying to appeal to the base that they're in front of. Hillary Clinton did this exact same thing. She did an interview with the Breakfast Club, and they ate it up. They eat that pandering stuff for breakfast, hence the name. But she came there, they asking her what she carry on her. I carry hot sauce. We know this lady don't carry no freaking hot sauce, but they ate it up. Like I said, Joe Biden told Charlemagne, you're not black if you don't vote for him. And he's like, yes, sir, I'm not. But regardless, I just that's how I looked at it, right? And it's not even the worst thing in the world because politicians do it all the time, right? They go to their base, they film it, they want the videos for their campaign, they want the good publicity to try to get votes from this particular community. It's not abnormal. And although I think what they're doing to Biden is elderly abuse by trying to hoist him up there as if he's fit to run the country, I mean, someone probably told him to do this. So I'm not even necessarily looking at him specifically. But what piqued my interest about this was honestly something that I saw today from Stephen A. Smith, which, I mean, I wouldn't have guessed, right? Now, Stephen A. Smith, he's like super hardcore pro-black, and I always got to clarify my stance, right? I'm black, so I want to see the advancement of black people, but the way that a lot of these super hardcore social justice warriors move, I think is counterproductive to the advancement of black people, so I don't associate with a lot of that BS that they spew. But Stephen A. is one of those type of people, right, where anytime or almost anytime a white coach gets hired, it was because of white privilege, or a black coach gets fired is because the owners were racist. I mean, that's like the type of person he is. Fantastic reporter, in my opinion. He's entertaining, but that's the type of person he is, at least from the outside looking in. But even he came out and said something that I was like low-key thinking, but I'm like, it don't even feel worth it to necessarily say anything about it because everyone's going to look at this and be like, yes, Biden. Great job, right? Because that's all people have been doing, is trying to prop this man up as if everything he's doing is amazing and also that he's all the way there enough to be able to effectively run this country, right? Both things are completely false, but that's what's been happening over the past 4 years. But Stephen A. Smith came out and basically said this.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, if we're being fair, if we saw Donald Trump sitting down in a black household eating fried chicken with a father and a son, what would we say? What would we say? What would we say? Folks out there would be calling it racist. Well, if it's racist for him, and I'm not saying it would be, but if it's racist for him, why wouldn't it be racist for Biden?
Those are the truest words that this man has probably ever said on TV or on a podcast that I've ever heard in my entire life. Whether you like him or not is not the argument. Like I said, I don't get on here and try to tell people who they should vote for. I vote for who I vote for, but regardless, that's not what I do. Not saying, hey, vote for this person, vote for that person. I'm saying open your mind to like the possibility that what you're being told by politicians and media companies are lies or slight fabrications to get you to believe what they want you to believe. So one thing that we've done over the past, let's just call it a decade, is we've overused and misused the word racism more than probably any other word in the dictionary. People can make stereotypes, they can be racially insensitive, but the idea of being racist, it has been used wrong in twofold. Number one, anything that black people deem unfavorable that has been done to another black person, regardless, people call it racist. That's not true, because not every situation is racist that involves a black person and an unfavorable outcome. And then number two, people saying that black people can't be racist. I've hit on this before, but I don't mind spinning the block one more time. Yes, black people can be racist. The amount of times that I have heard black people can't be racist, right? Racism is a one-way street perpetrated by white people exclusively. It's just simply not true. And I'd be willing to argue this point any day of the week and twice on Sunday. But the point is that let's say Donald Trump was sitting down at this table with these three black people, two black kids and a black dad, eating fried chicken and talking about basketball. Everyone on the planet, people not even from this country, Donald Trump's a racist. Every single news outlet, as soon as you wake up in the morning, Donald Trump, look at this racist, eating chicken with black people talking about basketball. Now, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not tripping. I know that this is a publicity stunt. Plus, I mean, it's no secret. I don't think me being black has a correlation to me liking chicken. It could, right? I don't know. Maybe there's some genetic makeup in my body. I mess with chicken, right? And I like basketball. I grew up playing it. So when I look at it, I don't get like offended. But then at the same time, I hate the double standard that exists, because Joe Biden can do it and he's just a harmless old man who's trying to connect with the black community. Hillary Clinton can talk about how she carries hot sauce and she's this game-changing woman who's just building some rapport with the black community. If Donald Trump were to do it, regardless if you like him or don't, is irrelevant. If he were to do it, we all know good and well, every single news outlet and every single person on the planet would be calling that man a racist. So the fact that the standard is not the same across the board is ridiculous, and then it just eggs the political game on more. The reason why people are not calling Joe Biden a racist is because Democrats have had the black vote unequivocally forever. They don't have to do anything. All they have to do is eat chicken with a black person, talk about basketball, and say that you carry hot sauce on you anywhere you go. Number one, it should be extremely frustrating that it's that easy to get our vote. Now, I don't choose to expand my options with voting beyond the typical Democrat to purposefully be some type of rebel. No. And even when I do vote for someone, I mean, I've only done it once, but we're about to go in for round two. But when I'm like looking at these politicians, I don't have my sights set on one specific party. I'm looking at the candidates. Right? And there's some things that I like and don't like from both parties, and I'll weigh the pros and the cons, but I just hate the idea that because I'm black, I need to vote Democrat. I don't like that at all, because look at what they're doing, right? And it's the wildest thing ever, because like I said, I've been called every name under the sun, and I could care less at this point, because it's not going to change how I feel about stuff like this, but I've been blocked, you name it, right? It's happened to me because I have chosen not to buy into this just because I'm black. Because everyone will sit down with me, have a 45-minute conversation about why Donald Trump is just this horrible person, such a bad candidate. I can't believe anybody will vote for him. Or even on the Democratic side, before she decided to go independent, Tulsi Gabbard, right? I got to have those 30, 45-minute conversations with people. Be like, Josh, what are you doing? You're black. Why aren't you voting for Joe Biden like you're supposed to? I mean, do I really even have to explain it? Right? Like right now, based on what I'm talking about, do I even have to explain it? The sales pitch for the black vote is fried chicken. Like, I don't get offended easily. And like I said, I'm not even too fazed by this, but just the idea that still people are going to come out in waves, especially us, right? And vote for this man because we're supposed to. That's the part that I don't like, because we're not holding this dude to the same standard that we'd hold the other guy. If Donald Trump did this, we'd want him impeached by the time the sun comes up the next day. But Biden does it. We take the old man, rock him to sleep. It's okay, Joe. We know you didn't mean it like that, even though you did. But it's okay, because you're a Democrat and we're black and we're supposed to vote for you. Right? That's how it's supposed to go. That's how it's always been. That's how it always will be. Or at least that's how you want it to be. It's okay. Everything's going to be A-okay. Because it doesn't matter if you get chicken, watermelon. You talk about football next. You throw in some records. Start talking about hip hop. You come to the crib with some dunks on. You match my Damian Lillard jersey. It doesn't matter. It's okay, Joe. Right? It's A-okay. Because I'll be at the polls November voting for you. Right? I don't even know which policies you're gonna stand on. Right? I have no idea. Got no clue. Because it doesn't matter to me. Because I'm black and I'm supposed to vote for you. Right? That's how they want us to be. That's not how it necessarily is, so to speak. I pray to God that's not. But in the general sense, that's how they want us to be. Is none of this stuff should matter to us because we're black. So by default, we should vote for this man and anyone else in his party, period. Now, once again, this is not a sales pitch not to vote Democrat. If you're black and you vote Democrat, but you're informed on the policies and the things that this president or the incumbent or an aspiring president says that they're going to do, and you're game for it, well, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? As long as you are informed. But what I don't like for the sake of black people is when these politicians pull stunts like this because they feel that this is all they need to do to get us out the door to the polls to vote for them. That's a slap in the face like no other, because they know that there's a handful of us who will not hold him to the same standard that we would the other guy or someone from a different party. So at least in the context of this discussion, it doesn't matter if you vote Democrat. Like I said, if you do, more power to you. If you vote Republican, good for you. If you vote independent, fantastic. If you vote for the Constitution Party, good luck. But it helps me to sleep better at night if I know that for the most part, people are informed on the policy side of it. Right? Because then this stuff don't faze you, right? Because even if you vote for Trump, it's a bunch of stuff that he does that is so stupid and ridiculous and you could do without. But if you're sold on his policy, then you're like, you know what? It is what it is. I'll just try to disregard that, as much as possible, as long as it doesn't go against anything regarding my moral convictions. I'll just primarily focus on the policy and then I'll vote for him, right? It's the exact same thing here. If you vote for Joe Biden, if you're sold on his policy, you might be able to be like, man, this is annoying and I could have done without the whole let me eat chicken to pander to black people deal. But his policies I'm straight with. So, I'll go vote for him. That's fine, right? Because these are politicians. They're not perfect. They're far from it, but they're not dumb, right? They're doing this stuff intentionally to get the vote. I just don't want people going to the polls being sold on fried chicken or hot sauce. So although stuff like this is annoying, chicken's good, bro. Finger licking, baby. Finger licking. He probably got somebody,
Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
And maybe I shouldn't talk. Bro ain't come to my house and gave me chicken. So I don't know how I'd feel. Maybe I would feel the desire to want to go. I got no clue. But just be careful about stuff like this, right? Obviously a ploy. He's trying to get a vote out of these people and then a whole bunch more. All right, we're way wiser than that. Because if we want to throw the word racism around, we do it amongst each other all the time, right? Politicians, they thrive off of us, fight each other, hating each other. Those are the people we should be looking at the most. This is obviously racially motivated. Like, come on now, right? You hate your white neighbor, yet you're cool with this. Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? Because they probably ain't done nothing to you, right? These are the real culprits, so to speak, who are responsible for a lot of the issues that we deal with. And they're responsible for stirring the pot when it comes to a lot of the social issues that we deal with. So keep that in mind and stay aware of stuff like this, right? If you vote for Joe Biden, please do it based on policy. If you vote for Donald Trump, please do it based on policy. And if they shove fried chicken in your face, run the hell away, because they don't give a damn about your political preferences or your policy preferences. They don't care about any of that stuff. This is just an easy way to get you to the polls to vote for them. If that's not a slap in the face, I don't know what is. Something to think about.